Hello, and welcome to Half Air Plays. I am Terrence, and once again I'm partnering with my solo role-playing site, Tev's Next Idea, to bring you some more of Delve, the map drawing game by Anna Blackwell. Now, you can get Delve over at itch.io, and if you're not familiar with the game, never seen it played, don't know the rules, I'd invite you to check out the previous video. The link is right down in the description, where I introduced the game, showed you how to play, and we even ran through several rooms. Now, last time, we had some problems. First of all, I had a squeaky chair, but I've locked it into place. I'm going to try not to rock, so hopefully that will not be an issue. Also, I had some problem distinguishing my right from my left. But I took a tip from elementary school, and I know that when I hold up this hand, it makes an L, so everything over here is to the left, and everything over here is to the right. But the biggest issue we had was that the goblins had taken over our caverns. We cannot get down. They have infested the place. What are we going to do? Well, as I said, I was going to come up with an idea, and I did. I seeked throughout my dwarven hold for someone who might be able to help us, and I found this one dwarf that is really good at tapping the ground and finding hollow spaces. He's kind of like a diviner, but with caverns. So he takes his warhammer, he kind of walks around the grounds, kind of hits the ground, and listens for some kind of hollow area, a place where we might be able to break through. In fact, he is so good at this, the other dwarves started calling him Thumper. Okay, maybe that's not the greatest nickname, but he's good at it anyway. So he kind of looked around the area where we were currently exploring, and he happened to find a place that he thought was pretty good soft ground and somewhere that we could get back down and continue to explore. So this is where we are going in. Okay, so it's no grand staircase, but it's functional. We got a ladder for the dwarves to go up and down, and then we created a little pulley elevator here so they can get supplies up and down as well. So this is our new entrance, and our next turn we will be exploring to the right. Yes, the right, and we'll be exploring T1. Now, I wasn't clear on this last time, but after every turn, you reshuffle the cards. So yes, you may only be drawing 1 or 2 cards before you reshuffle the entire deck. So each time we draw a card, almost every card is in play. So, what card are we going to get here? 5 of clubs, which is a natural formation. So we go to the natural formations table, and we look and see what it is. It's a cavern. Now, caverns can be up to 4 spaces, depending on the roll of a d4. Ours is only 1. Okay, I'm not going to do any trades. I don't think I really have enough to do a trade. But I am going to build. Now, there are a couple of free rooms you can build. One of them is a stairs or a way to go between levels. So that's what I'm going to do. Down in T2, I am going to actually build a ramp. Now, I have dwarves that are very safe. It also doesn't hurt that I happen to work for a civil engineering firm. So here's my ramp. I did install my handrails to be safe, and I put my landing halfway down, so even the dwarves that have trouble getting around have a place to rest. So that about does it for this turn. This next turn should be pretty obvious where we're going. We're going to go to the left now. We're going to go to S2 and draw the card. 5 of hearts. That is 5 resources. And since we're on level 2, that adds 2 for a total of 7 resources. I still don't really have enough trade goods and resources to do anything yet, so I'm not going to trade, I'm not going to build, and I'm not going to recruit. Okay, so let's continue moving left and check out space R2. 8 of spades. Now, spades always concern me. They're remnants, and they're usually sometimes the baddies. So, looking at the table, an 8 of spades is an ancient library. Okay, this could be good. This could be bad. Now, first of all, they may be more than just one grid space. They can be up to 2 grid spaces, so let's roll and see how big this library is. Okay, 2 spaces. So, let's first draw in our library. Okay, so as you see, I got a lot of books. Those diamond-shaped things are actually scroll cases with scrolls on its side, and I figured they needed a place to study, so I put a nice long table with several chairs around it. When you're building rooms, a library is a room that you can build, and it is a place that you house your mages. Now, your mages study all kinds of magic, some of it good, some of it bad. Now, this is a remnant of an ancient library, and the rules still apply here about the magic. There could be remnants of good magic or of bad magic. So, we have to roll a D2 to determine what kind of magic is actually in this room. Okay, that's good magic. So now we're going to draw a card and consult our good magic table. So once my dwarves enter this ancient library, all of a sudden, all around them, they see these sparkling lights. They're reds, they're blues, they're whites, they're yellows, and they twinkle and they kind of swirl around the room. None of my dwarves really know what it is, but then a little dwarf from the back kind of steps forward and goes, "Oh, I know what this is. I read about this once. These are the Siegfried lights. They will charm a monster." A king of diamonds is charming colors, which is a spell that makes friends of your enemies. So, the colors move as it is a unit, and if it reaches a grid space with an enemy, then you gain control of it, and you treat it like one of your own units. Right now, I have no enemies that I have access to. All of those goblins are in another section of the caves. So I will just say they kind of stay here, and they kind of maybe follow us around, but once I do encounter an enemy, then the charming colors will make haste to that enemy and charm it, and we will then control it. For the rest of the turn then, I don't want to do any trades, but I will go ahead and I will build another ramp. I will continue to build a ramp below the ramp I did before down in T3. I just continued the same construction, handrails, landing, all is good. And I have no money to recruit anything yet, so I'm not going to be doing any recruiting. And that is the end of turn number 10. We don't have many options for our next turn. As you may have saw, on the other side of the library is the Goblin Village, so we don't want to break through that wall and encounter the goblins. So naturally, let's continue on to S2. We're at the bottom of our ramp. Let's move forward and see what we can find. 8 of diamonds. That is 8 more trade goods. And we're on level 3, so that gives us a total of 11 trade goods. Now, I don't want to do any trades, and I don't want to do any builds, but I do have enough trade goods now to recruit some soldiers. And as you may recall, the entrances can hold up to 5 soldier units. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use 10 of those diamonds to recruit 2 soldiers at 5 diamonds each, and I'll place them right here in my entrance. So, moving right along, let's explore R3. Ace of Clubs, a natural formation. So, let's look at our table, and we have an underground forest. So, let's draw the forest. Okay, I don't know how these trees actually grow underground. There's no light, but it's some kind of magical forest. And now we have a choice. When you draw a forest, you can either cut the trees down, and that gives you a free room right there. Or you can keep the forest intact, and then for every turn after that, you receive 2 resources. I am obviously going to keep the trees. Not that dwarves have any affinity for nature. You know, they live underground. It's the elves that really like the nature. But we're going to keep this forest and get the 2 hearts, the 2 resources each turn, because we need them. We are not really getting a lot of money really fast, and that can hurt us in the future if we can't start recruiting some people, building some traps, and some more rooms. That about ends it. I'm not going to do any trades this turn, and I'm not going to build anything, and I am not going to recruit. The next grid we're going to explore is Q3. This is a natural formation, so as my exploring dwarves enter the cave, they find on the wall this giant green crystal. Is this good? Is this bad? A die roll will tell. As the dwarves get closer and begin to examine this giant crystal, one of them reaches up to touch it. The minute he does, it glows with an amazing green light filling the cavern. All the dwarves back away, and suddenly, right in front of them appears some kind of smoke-filled portal. Do we know where it goes? Well, actually, we do. The one that I rolled let us know that it was actually good magic. So the first thing I had to do was draw a card and refer to the good magic table. The Ace of Hearts means that it's a portal to another grid space, and then you draw another card to determine how deep that portal goes. King. So that means that we have just opened a portal all the way down to grid Q16. Now, my dwarves are not dumb. Heigh-Ho! Once again, wrong dwarves. I guess that's what happens when you live in Central Florida. Anyway, our dwarves are not dumb. They don't know where this goes, so they are not going to go traveling into it yet. They're going to stay right where they are and continue exploring these upper levels before moving any deeper. Okay, so also on this turn, we're going to get 2 hearts, 2 resources for our forest. I am actually going to do a trade this turn. I'm going to trade in 4 hearts for 2 diamonds, and then I'm going to recruit 1 more soldier and put them at the entrance. So I think now we have 3 soldiers at the entrance, and I am left with a total of 5 resources and 0 trade goods. And that about wraps up this turn. Before I move on to the next turn, I do want to explain something here. You may recall at the beginning of the game, we removed the jokers from the deck. Once you reach level 5, you put those jokers back in the deck. Jokers are very, very special events that happen in the game. Now that we have a portal that goes down well below level 5, you might wonder, well, am I going to put the jokers back in the deck? I'm going to say no, because my dwarves never actually went down there. I'm going to say I have access to a level deeper than 5, but I am still on level 3. So until my dwarves actually start exploring a level 5 or deeper, those jokers are going to stay out of the deck. Since we're not going down the portal, I guess we continue on to grid P3. 3 diamonds, 3 trade goods, plus we're on level 3, so it's a total of 6 trade goods. That's good. We need to get some more trade goods. And of course, as always, I get the 2 resources from the forest. I'm not going to trade, but I am going to build a room. I'm going to go ahead and spend 5 of my hearts, and I'm going to build a kennel. So let's build the kennel right here in room S2, a free room that we have. I got a few cages, I got a few animals in there. However, right now I don't have any animals. I haven't actually recruited any. I need to do that. But what a kennel does is it lets you recruit up to 5 hounds or house 1 tamed creature. There is a mechanic that if you come across small creatures and you defeat them, you have the option of just capturing them and taming them if you have a kennel that is available. So I will probably be recruiting hounds in here when I get some money, but right now I'm going to recruit a soldier instead and really beef up my entrance. So right now I have 4 soldiers at my entrance. So we're up to turn 15 of this game, and for 15 I'm just gonna keep moving left. 03. 3 more resources plus the 3 for the level, so 6 total resources gets added to our pot. 2 more for our forest. This gives me enough resources to build yet another room, and we need to be able to build up some defenses. We got our our kennel for some hounds. Now let's get some more soldiers. So I am going to use the space that we have available in S3, and I'm going to go ahead and build a barracks. So this might look very similar to the other barracks that we built in the other portion of the caverns. These dwarves kind of just like what they know, some beds, some crates, some storage things. As you might remember, a barrack allows us to recruit up to 10 soldiers or gunners. I'm not sure which I'm going to do yet, because I don't have any money to recruit right this moment. So we're just going to end this turn with 7 trade goods and 1 resource. Okay, for this next turn, I am going to mix it up a little bit. Instead of continuing to the left, I am going to dig down and explore the grid below me. That would be grid 04. King of Clubs. Well, we've had this before, back on the first turn of the game. Well, maybe not the first turn. Yeah, it was the first turn of the game. It is a burrowing beast. So, as I said, you get to pick what beast it is. I've already done my mole, and I don't quite want to use the list that they give you yet. So, I did a web search for some burrowing beasts, and I came across an animal that I did not know was a burrowing beast. It is a pangolin. And I kind of like this animal because it gives me a chance to plug a site that I get a lot of good resources from. That is the Travels of the Lost Pangolin. Now, this website is run by Ricardo Freggi, and he has a lot of tools that I have used in some of my solo role-playing games. He created the Bivis solo system, which everything is basically a flip of the coin, A or B, and it seems simple, but it actually is a good tool for running a simple adventure. He also created 9 Steps and a Bloody Heart, which is a way that you can do investigation solo, and I'm currently using that system in a modified version of that system for a game that I'm currently playing on Tev's Next Idea. If you're interested in seeing some of those resources, you can check out the address online. But as far as our game goes, we are going to have a pangolin. Normally, this creature is a burrowing beast, so it will start going up into where we just came from and then heading towards our entrance. But if you recall, way back in our ancient library, we discovered the Siegfried lights, and they will charm an enemy. So the lights come on down from the library through our various caverns and into this burrow of the pangolin and charm the pangolin. So what does this mean? This means that we now have a pangolin on our side. He will kind of stay here, and the way that I interpret the rule is when we need him to attack or defend, we give him a signal and he leaves his burrow and does whatever we need him to do. So that kind of helps us because we're not getting a lot of money to be able to recruit soldiers. We kind of have an open path. We just have those like 20 points worth of soldiers at our entrance, so this is good. By the way, he starts out with a base strength of 20, and we are at the 4th level, so it's 5 extra strength for every level. So this is a 40 strength pangolin, a good creature to have on your side. Because the colors have come down, they only get 1 use. They're gone. We can't use them anymore in the game. But we do get our 2 resources from our forest. And at this point, I'm going to choose not to build anything and not to do any recruiting. So let's just leave that pangolin hang out where he is. Let's not bother him, and let's continue to the left, and let's check out N3. Oh boy, I promise you, I do shuffle these cards. I know we just had a King of Clubs, and we just got another King of Clubs. I do shuffle these, but guess what? We found another burrowing beast. This time, I think I will make it a weasel, but not just a normal weasel. This is a saber-tooth weasel. And since we are on the 3rd level, he starts with a base of 20 strength, 5 for every level down, so that's a total of 35 strength. Okay, so we find a monster. This one is not charmed, so he is going to act like a monster. Well, according to the burrowing beast, the first thing they do is they burrow up. So he will dig up into N2. Oh boy, what is N2? Well, N2 is in the section that has been taken over by the goblins. So now he's here. The closest exit, even though it is blocked by the lava, is J1. So I'm going to say that our saber-tooth weasel here will continue on to J1. Wow, this could get interesting. I think we'll be doing a lot of rule number 1ing in this. But he is going to head left to M2. He's going to crawl up the stairs to M1, which brings up an interesting point. As you will recall, when a monster takes over an area, as the goblins did, any rooms that you have that spawn creatures will spawn the enemy type. Behind the scenes, I haven't been really explaining this, but I kind of did create a little analog to determine if the goblins were going to spawn enemies in our old barracks, K1, and how often they will do that. We've had enough turns that by now they have spawned the max number of goblins in there, which is not 10, it's actually 15 because we do have the dorm adjacent to it in L1. So there are 15 spear-chucking goblins in K1. Now, spear-chucking goblins have 3 strength each. The other thing about spear-chucking goblins is they are a ranged attacker, which means when they can actually attack up to 2 grids away from them. Since our weasel has just come up in M1 and they're in K1, that's 2 spaces away, they see the weasel come up, they throw their spears. Saber-tooth weasel only has 35, so 45 wipes out the saber-tooth weasel. Whew. That saves me and my dwarves from having to deal with it. Except, now there's an opening. These goblins know this creature came from somewhere. They couldn't get there before, so they are going to explore. And they're going to see where this creature comes from. So they backtrack in the same direction that the weasel came. They go past the dorm in L1. They enter M1. They go down the steps into M2. They go into N2. Now, they could visit their friends over there in the village, but, you know, they're more intent. I'm going to say they're more intent on exploring where this saber-toothed weasel came from and if there is an entrance. Basically, they're going to continue on to our new entrance over there at S1. So they're going to move down into N3. Now, we have our friendly pangolin right down there in O4. And we're going to set him loose. So he's going to stay down there. And as the goblins head over O3, our pangolin is going to jump up and attack. Now, as you recall, our pangolin has a strength of 40. These goblins have a strength of 45. So, in the ensuing battle, they do destroy our pangolin. Sorry, pangolin. And that wipes out most of the spear-chucking goblins. But a couple do survive. There's two. If you recall, you only kill off the units that are fully defeated. So that still leaves 2 units. But I will say one of the units is down to only 2 strength. So we have 2 goblins at 5 strength. And they are going to continue on to my entrance. They go through the gem cavern, through the forest, through the barracks, which so far have no dwarves in them. They go up the ramps, and because their ramps are not stairs, it's a lot easier for them to get, for our last 2 goblins to get up them. They get up to T1 and eventually make it to our entrance at S1. But we do have 4 soldiers there at a total strength of 20. So their 20 strength easily wipes out the 5 strength of the goblins. But in doing so, we do lose 1 dwarf. So we have 3 dwarves at S1, and we have protected our keep, and we live to see another day. We still collect our 2 hearts from our forest, and because I have enough hearts, I am going to make a trade. I'm going to trade my 8 hearts for 4 diamonds. Remember, hearts trade at 2 hearts per 1 diamond. And I am going to replace that soldier that we just lost at S1. Recruit another 1 soldier for 5 diamonds, 5 trade goods. Wow, a lot has already happened this turn, but I'm not done yet. I am going to build a room. I'm going to build a free room, which is the stairs. I'm going to go all the way down to grid 04, and that was where the pangolin was. And now that the pangolin is out there, I'm just going to build a staircase going down there. This time I decided to do a spiral staircase to be a little bit different. And my dwarves will go down there and we will continue exploring from there. In fact, we'll head left over to N4. Okay, we don't dig very far until we come upon a door, a big giant stone door that has all kinds of runes drawn into it. You know, we actually have 1 dwarf that is familiar with these kind of runes. Don't know why. He just is. And he can tell us that it's a warning, actually. There is evil on the other side of this door. That is exactly what the 4 of Spades is. The 4 of Spades is a sealed room with an evil creature or object inside. Now, we can decide to open the door and consult the bad magic table, or we can just leave it shut and not worry about it. I think that's what we're going to do at this point. We really don't have enough defenses built up to withstand any bad magic. So we're just going to leave that door shut. We're going to collect our 2 resources for the forest. We're not going to trade, and we're not going to build. So now we can either go back up to level 3 and continue exploring that way, or we can start moving right. I think I'm going to start moving right. So next card is Ace of Spades. Okay, we've had this before. First thing we do is roll a d4. 2. So we got to fill in 2 spaces. My dwarves look in. They see a cavern with a lot of other little caves and these beady little eyes looking out. Yep, it's another monster village. This particular village happens to hold rock trolls, and they attack. Because that's what happens when you enter a room with an enemy, you initiate combat. These rock trolls have a base strength of 20. They are 4 levels down, 5 strength per level, so another 20. So we have a group of rock trolls at 40 strength. And they head for our entrance. I think you might see where this is heading, but the rock trolls move to our staircase in 04. They go up the staircase and they just keep moving to the right towards our entrance, past the gem, past the forest, through the barracks, up my nicely constructed ramps, until they eventually reach our entrance. Now, we do have our 4 soldiers there, but unfortunately our soldiers only have 20 strength, and the rock trolls have 40. So, our dwarves are just wiped out. The rock trolls get out of our entrance, and I guess they attack our hold. They find our hold and attack it, but, yep. That is a losing condition. We have just lost our cavern. Well, that about does it for us. Not exactly the outcome that we were hoping for. And looking back, I may have made a couple of mistakes on the rules and didn't necessarily interpret things in our best interest, but that's okay. The whole point of these videos was to just kind of introduce you to Delve, give you an idea if this is a game you might be interested in, if you want to go pick it up. One of the problems that we had was we just really didn't have a lot of opportunities to make money, whether it's trade goods or resources. You really need to make a lot of those to start building up your keep, your hold, and be able to have defenses to fight off the monsters. That just was not in the cards for us this time. Here's another game that I'm playing that you can see that is going much better. It's getting deeper, and I do have a few rooms and sites that are generating some dwarven money for me, so I feel really confident with this map. Now that I've said that, probably the next couple of draws of the cards will reveal some great monster or evil magic that'll just wipe out my entire keep, kill off all my dwarves, and it'll all be for naught, meaningless. Which brings us to this week's verse. It comes from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 19 through 22. Check it out. So, for Half Air Plays and Tev's Next Idea, I've been Terrence, saying thanks for watching and good night.